we're just going to start this. I want to be able to send everybody the recording to the class today so that if something's discussed that you want to reference back, this will automatically, the video will automatically be sent to you so that you can reference it. And April, who is our growth manager at the real estate inspection company, she is also going to send you a PDF file after the class, which has a bunch of sample prompts and some other information that will be useful to you so that you really get to learn how to get the most out of ChatGPT. So let's see. Yeah, make sure if we'd love to know like where you guys are starting at. So if you don't mind in the comments, just type in if you're just beginning or you've been using ChatGPT, because I want to gauge this too. I mean, we should have a lot of people in here, so it's going to be all different experience levels, but I do want to make sure that I address everything for everybody. And then we're just going to give it like another minute here. Zooms are always so awkward when they start because you're waiting for everybody to come in, and I don't want to start too early, but I also don't like to keep people waiting. I like to respect your time. So, um, all right, well, I'll do a quick introduction of myself if we haven't met before. My name is Philippe Heller, and I am the owner of the real estate inspection company and also, by the way, Termite and Pest Control. And I've been doing this since 2004, so it's about 21 years. And we've always prided ourselves on keeping at the forefront of technology, whether it was way back in the day when we introduced thermal imaging or computerized reports. When I started, reports were still handwritten, so we've always loved to be at the forefront, and we are implementing AI in our companies at every level, from marketing to operations and services. Our inspectors are using it when they need to look something up on an inspection. Of course, for marketing, which is I'm assuming why most of you are joining today, because that's for agents, that's your whole thing, is your brand, right? That's what your differentiation is with other agents. So we're going to share some of that, and then just the back office stuff too. That's really important. Like there's a lot of stuff. The analogy of a duck on a pond is appropriate, right? It looks so serene as it glides across the water, but the little legs underneath are going like mad. And I think that is pretty common with a lot of us, because we're just working so hard behind the scenes. We're trying to keep up. We're trying to respond. We're trying to come up with good content. Now we've got to keep up with social media. We've got to send emails. There's so many things that are part of real estate and running any business, really. I don't care if you're in real estate or in mortgage or you're a plumber, whatever it is, there's so much stuff that we all have to keep doing. And AI, I read a statistic this morning that 83% of small businesses are either implementing AI or looking to implement it. And with hiring practices now, so many companies, this is a skill set that is going to be required if you're looking for a job. And it is, so many people are worried that AI is going to replace a bunch of jobs. And that's probably true. So if you don't want to be replaced by AI, make sure you're on the side of AI where you know how to implement it. Then you will become very valuable to a company if you know how to use AI and implement it at all levels of the company. Yeah, Whistle Group is big on tech, and I know Kyle. I've known him for years, and we have some good chats about this. Um, uh, Real estate inspection company. Yeah. So yeah, Kyle and I chat a bit, and always available to do a class for the Whistle Realty Group for sure. And we'll do that if any of you are office managers, or you think that your brokerage needs a little guidance in this. We're happy to come into your office. We just set it up on Zoom today because we have people from all different brokerages that are interested in this. So I want to just to again to respect your time, I want to get started on this. So I'm going to share my screen and please ask questions in the chat. And I can't always see if you raise your hand. And you guys have your video off anyway, so just make sure you post the chat in there, and I'll get to all your questions. And there'll be time at the end too if you want to go back over anything. So let me just share a couple of things here. Do that, and we're going to do this. Okay, so we want you to supercharge your real estate business by using ChatGPT. And of course, I know that there are other AI platforms. There's Grok, there's Gemini from Google, and they're all amazing. Like the rate at which this stuff is getting developed just blows my mind, right? It's going faster and faster. It seems like there's a new platform all the time. We have gravitated towards ChatGPT, as I think most people have, because first of all, they were kind of the first ones to do it. But for us, you can set up some team accounts, and that's very important in an office. If you're working with collaboratively with other people, you may want to set a team account, and we can go over that. For sure, there's a free account, which is very useful. I do recommend going up a level, which is the $20 a month version of ChatGPT. And the reason why is because then you can upload documents. So you can upload reports, or if you find a PDF article that you really like, you can save that and upload it. And you could do a lot more with a $20 account than you can with just the free account. But if you're at that free level, that's great. Most of what we're talking about today will apply to that as well. So again, this is a no judgment zone, so feel free to add. No questions are too dumb. We all started somewhere, and that's how we learn, right? And I highly encourage you just to get in there and use it, because that's how you're going to realize. I think a lot of us, when we started using ChatGPT, we kind of used it like Google, which was just, sorry about this. Hold on one second. Uh, which was just asking it a question and getting an answer. And then we learned how you could actually increase the depth of your prompts, right? Like you could start asking it far more complex things as you realize, hey, this thing's really understanding what I'm saying. And then you can have that ongoing conversation where you could further refine the conversation where it's going. Google, you ask it one question and that was it. Then you have to ask another question and that was it. With these AI platforms, you can actually have a conversation. And that's an important topic because obviously it's using memory, and that's an important concept when you start building more advanced models with ChatGPT. And we're going to have some other classes that are going to get into that. Instead of just the transactional relationship that most of us have, where we ask ChatGPT something and we get a response that we can use, like create 5 emails for me on this particular topic, and it does that, and that's great. But the next step, of course, is how do you get AI to actually do things for you? So we're going to have other classes if you're interested in going to that next level. So let us continue here. So what are some of the things that you can do? Of course, you can research certain topics. You can ask it, because it knows so much. It goes out onto the internet, right? And it's keeping up with news and current events and whatnot. So you can ask ChatGPT to tell you, what are the market conditions in San Diego right now, or anywhere else. If you work here and in Arizona or in 2 states, you can research all those things. You don't actually have to be in that locale, but you can ask ChatGPT, hey, give me the important things that are going on in this market. And maybe if you don't want all of San Diego, you can be real specific about, Carlsbad or Valley Center, wherever you want. You can really get specific about it and do that research. Of course, it's great for creating social media posts and even images that you can use on your social media. One of the neat things that I have found is you can, let's say you do a weekly blog or a newsletter that you send out to your sphere. Well, content is always the challenge, right? Coming up with new things to talk about. So you can go out on the internet. Let's say you go to CNBC and you find a nice article about real estate, something really informative. And all you have to do is capture that URL, paste it into ChatGPT, and ask it to summarize that article into 2 or 3 paragraphs for you to send out to your sphere of influence. And it will go out on the internet, read that article, summarize it for you, and return it to you where you can just copy and paste it. And I mean, it is saving people so much time that it's amazing. You can set up weeks worth of social media content or emails in just a morning, Monday morning. Get up and you can create a month's worth of post in just a few minutes. So that's a really, really neat thing. We're also going to talk about GPTs today, which allow you some more functionality. So for example, you can do something similar with YouTube videos. So if there's a real estate YouTube channel that you like to follow, you can actually capture that URL for that YouTube video, and ChatGPT will summarize it for you. Okay, so I think most of us use it a lot for social media content, and it's really, really good, especially when you combine it with some other stuff. And I'll get to that. There are a lot of graphic AI tools out there now that are just amazing. So to create the actual images that you want. But even if you don't want to do that, you don't want to subscribe to other platforms or spend money on it, there's a lot of ways to get really, really good pictures. And I've got some links and some resources for you at the end of the presentation, that some of the things that we're going to send. So how do you get free pictures, for example? So there's iStock Photos, there's Unsplash, there's a few different resources that we're going to share with you where you can find really good pictures like the one you're looking at here. This is a free image of a gal working at presumably a coffee shop, busy like most of you, just whenever you can, you break open the laptop and try and get some work done. So using ChatGPT to write Instagram captions, let's say you get a new listing and you want to do that. It's a great way to create cohesive posts across platforms. So let's say you have a new listing and you want to write about it and put it on social media, and you have multiple platforms. You've got TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all a little bit different, right? In the way you can post the information. So you can ask ChatGPT, give it the information about your listing. Say, I want to, promote my listing on these platforms and list them out. Please write a post for each platform about this property, and it will do that for you. So all you have to do is copy and paste it and schedule it when you want it to post, and it's done. You can also then create emails. If you have a mailing list that you send things out about your new listings, same thing. It will create those emails for you that relate to the post. So you have really good content that matches, right? You're sending out emails. If people see your blog post, it's got the same messaging about your listing. And so there's a commonality there, which really helps you brand your listing and get attention for it. Yeah, so you've probably seen some of these where some agents are comparing two neighborhoods, and that's really fun. Like, compare Pacific Beach with Ramona, right? Obviously, two very different neighborhoods. And ChatGPT actually has a sense of humor, and you tell it that. And we're going to get into how do you prompt it with the tone of your response. How do you want it to word something? Very serious, informational, humorous, friendly, etc. So you can do some of the things like, give me 10 comparisons between Pacific Beach and Ramona in a humorous tone, and it will create something really, really fun for you. All right, generating property listings. This is a really good thing that ChatGPT does quite well. And you can even upload a picture of your home, and it's smart enough to look at that picture and understand what it is that you're posting. So, from that little yellow cottage that you see on the screen right now to a single family home, kind of, a little rancher, and it can help you write that description based on that photo, which is very, very cool. We're going to go through some examples here in just a minute. I still want to stick just with kind of the breadth of what could be done. So you've got social media where you can generate things automatically, or you can generate a lot of content, which you can then, like I said, if you're going on vacation for a couple of weeks, well, no reason why your social media and your branding has to stop. You can generate a whole bunch of stuff and just schedule it to go out over time. Same thing with emails. You can get emails queued up, and most of you probably have a CRM, so that's great where you can add really well worded CRMs, or I'm sorry, emails to your CRM. And then auto replies. What's neat about ChatGPT is you can link it to your CRM. This is a little more advanced, but just to get your brains thinking about this, you can link your CRM, whether it's Follow Up Boss or whatever you're using, to ChatGPT, which becomes your persona. And so when somebody sends you an email, you can actually have ChatGPT create a response to that email and send it out in your absence. So if they call, hey, I'd like to have some more information on your listing. What can you tell me about it? And you can create a knowledge base or a description for ChatGPT to be able to reply to those people. That's a little bit more advanced. That's going to be talked about in our next class. So some of the ways you can save a lot of time, meeting notes, you can quickly summarize long research papers or market reports. Like I said, you can, whether it's online on a website or whether you have a PDF file, ChatGPT is great at summarizing the main points of that. You can Zoom this meeting here. We've got AI running in the background, which is going to summarize this meeting and break it down into notes. So we're going to talk about the different topics, and you will get this at the end of the meeting where it will summarize this using AI. It's listening to us talk, and it will summarize it for you. There's actually a product, and the name will come to me in a minute here, but it's a band. It looks like a Fitbit that you wear on your wrist. And so when you go to a meeting, now you have to announce California, right? It's a two-party consent state, so you can't record people without asking their permission. But all you do is you tap it and it starts to record. And then when you're done, it automatically converts your the meeting, all the discussions that went on, into an AI summarized note of the meeting. Fantastic. Like it is so, it's very accurate and it's so helpful because maybe you're doing interviews or maybe you're at a trade show or some sort of an event and you're talking to a lot of people. Now, if you're out in public, you don't really have to ask people to be recorded. That's only in private. But you can record all these things and then just get a summary of the conversations at the end of the day, which really makes your life a lot easier. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, some of the things that we do, or I know you guys do too. I know we talked about Kyle Whistle. I know he's planning his customer appreciation party. If you're doing parties or you're having meetings and a whole day, maybe team building activities, and you need an agenda, you need to schedule out a bunch of activities. ChatGPT is an amazing tool to do that. You can explain what your goal is. What are you trying to set up? And it will create a perfect agenda for you with activities, with team building skills. Maybe it's a multi-day event. You're going on a retreat, and we've used it a lot to help us plan all the activities. What are we going to talk about? What kinds of exercises can we do to help in that team building? So ChatGPT is very, very good at doing that. And if you're going to travel, like let's say you're going to go to Hawaii and you want some tips on what to do in Maui for 4 days, and ask it to come up with all the highlights for that city or any city. We all go to conferences. The NAR conference was just in Washington, D.C. And you can say, have limited time. I only have 1 day in Washington, D.C. What are the top 3 things I need to look at? And it will give you that answer and plan out your itinerary. Very cool stuff. So creating buyer and seller guides. This is kind of a neat thing. I think that you build trust when you educate somebody for free. So what do I mean by that? If you can give away some information to, let's say, a prospective first-time home buyer, and they don't know what they're doing, they have no idea what it really means to buy a house. What is the process? What is, a credit score? How does that affect things? What's debt to income ratios? How do you apply for a loan? All those things that we in the business take for granted because it just makes so much sense and that's all we talk about. But to an outsider who's just coming in, a young couple, whatever, it's very important. So if you can create a really good first-time buyer's guide, for example, and you're sending that out, you make that available to new leads that you get. You're building trust because now you've given something to somebody who that has educated them and you make them feel more comfortable. So immediately you're building that trust. So ChatGPT is a great way to do that. You can prompt it and say exactly that, which is give me a step-by-step guide for first-time buyers. What do they need to consider? Explain credit scores and all the things that they need to understand before they even go look for a house or apply for a loan. And it's a great document. Save it as a PDF, and that way you've got a wonderful handout. One of the things that we have that is a great resource for people who are looking to buy a house, especially in the older neighborhoods, is a PDF document that they can get, which tells them what to expect when buying an older home. So, young kids who are in their maybe late 20s and they're buying a cute little place in South Park, they don't, they need to understand what the differences are in a house that was built in the 30s versus the, tract house they grew up in Scripps Ranch built in the 90s. Like there are a lot of differences. And the last thing we want is to go to a home inspection, come out and try to explain these things, and they're freaking out because they don't understand why this place doesn't have air conditioning or a dishwasher or whatever it is. And so we've created this document that we give to them way before the inspection occurs to set those expectations. And by doing so, there's a lot less stress. You guys have an easier time if they're buying that old house because it's like, yeah, I know that these houses don't have much insulation. Or, I know that it has a crawl space because I read it, and I understand that it's not on a slab. So those kinds of things are really, really important. And ChatGPT is a wonderful tool to help you get that. Let's see, we talked about market research and competitive analysis. There's a feature called deep research. And again, if you go to the $20 account per month, it expands on this and it can really do some excellent work for you. And I'm not talking about just for work, personal stuff like we all used to go to WebMD. Well, now, you've got a kid that's showing some symptoms. You can put it in here and ask ChatGPT to do some deep research on this, topic, like describe what's going on. And it may take several minutes. We're so used to immediate responses from ChatGPT, but this deep research really, really goes out onto the internet and scours all the websites that it can find on that topic to give you really, really good information. And their citations, which means there's a link back to the website on which it found the information so you can confirm it. Like you can then go and dig deeper into that. So the deep research tool is pretty amazing. And I highly recommend that you play around with the deep research feature in ChatGPT. All right. One of the things that I've done as a business owner, your CPA at the end of the year always asks for all these things and whatnot. Well, it's really good at looking at documents that you upload, and they can be receipts, they can be bank statements, etc. And so, for example, we were looking to cut costs. We all get that in a business where there are little fees that start subscriptions and whatnot that start creeping in, and they end up taking a lot of money. So, we uploaded a bunch of statements, and I just asked ChatGPT to find, all the please find all charges for $100 and below, and show the results in a table sorted by date, showing the date, merchant, and dollar amount. And it went through and it came up with this list of all of these little things, and then we could quickly go through and decide what are we spending our money on, all these little death by 1,000 cuts, right? And believe it or not, across two businesses, we ended up saving thousands of dollars a year, like thousands, because all these little platforms that we sign up for and we think are going to be great, and you use them for a little while, and then it kind of like fades away, but you're still paying for them. This is a great way to evaluate that. You can upload a ton of bank statements or whatever it is and ask ChatGPT to find patterns, and simplify it and present the data to you in an easy way. All right, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes. So I want to call up um, ChatGPT, and I want to make sure that you can see it here. Uh, okay, there we go. You should all be able to see the ChatGPT screen. Yeah, okay, perfect. One of the important things to do, like right out of the box, if you're using ChatGPT or just thinking about using it, you need to set up, you go here, down here where your name is, and go to settings, and then you need to click on customize ChatGPT. All right? Can you see that, April, where I've customized it? No, you can't see that? All right, well, let me use the slides. Oops. So down here in the lower left corner, you've got your name, and you click on that, and then you see it says customize chat GPT. And when you click on that, you get these windows that come up. And this is critical so that you get the best responses from chat GPT. The whole point is that it gets to know you and can create content that sounds like it's coming from you. But it can't do that unless it knows about you. So it's got to know where you're coming from, maybe what your experience, your life experiences are, what's your profession, all these different things. And so many people overlook it. And it is so important to really fine tune ChatGPT. So it's going to ask you questions like, it's changed a little bit since I made this. Okay, so what do you do, right? Real estate agent, home inspector, plumber, mortgage, broker, whatever it is. You need to put that in there so that it understands, oh, okay, this is your profession. You're a real estate agent. So the responses I give are going to be through that lens of a real estate agent. Then what traits do you want ChatGPT to know about you? Okay, so you're located in San Diego, or you might want to get, more granular on that and say, live in Encinitas. I grew up surfing. I love animals. I ride horses. Whatever it is, you want it to know your what makes you you, right? What makes you unique. If you grew up at the beach, well, that clearly when it gives responses or writes a listing description or something you're going to put on your website, it's going to be a lot more accurate and descriptive of you. And then it's going to ask, how do you want information presented to you? This is also very important. We all learn differently. We all receive information differently. Let's say you are studying for a test, right? And whether it's real estate or anything else, you can actually ask ChatGPT to help you with that. So you could say, hey, create a quiz of 10 questions for this, test or certification that I'm studying for to help me better understand it. Well, are you the type of person that likes visuals? Do you like concise bullet points, or do you like more deeply worded content that you could really understand it? Well, so this is where you can tell it. I prefer information in a concise format with better than average grammar and vocabulary. And you tell it, how do you want it to respond to you? Okay. Call me by my first name, or if you have a nickname, because you set up your account with your actual name. So if you wanted to call you, T-Bone, then just tell it like that's my nickname. I want you to call me that. And your age, that's also good. So, it understands perhaps what your worldview might be just based on your, the knowledge and the experience based on your age. Are you married? Where did you go to high school? Things like that. Super important to put all these things in there so that you can get ChatGPT to act like a good friend who really, really knows you. All right. If you have an iPhone, and I know you can do this with an Android, but I'm not an Android user, so I apologize. It's not a judgment, but I think in the real estate community, more people use iPhones than Android. That's we do too. So you can now, if you're running iOS 18.2 or newer, you can do this in Apple Intelligence, where you can actually link it to your ChatGPT account. So you actually have to have an account, and then you can link your iPhone to your ChatGPT. So when you hit that side button and you call up Siri, of course you can ask Siri for some stuff like directions and this and that, kind of some top level, first level things. But if you want to have it go through ChatGPT and you link it, it will ask you, do you want this answered by ChatGPT? So you can get that, more in-depth response from ChatGPT. It's pretty cool. You can use it without an account, but it's just, better to set up your account in ChatGPT and then link it in your iPhone. So you go to settings, Apple Intelligence and Siri, and then you tap ChatGPT and you sign in there, and then it stays connected thereafter. Now, touching on Android and Google and whatnot, Google has just released a ton. I'm going to stop this for a second because it's really cool. ChatGPT has, sorry, I got to change my view here. ChatGPT has, I'm sorry, Google has released a ton of tools that I think you should employ. Um, uh, which is so cool. Everything from video generation, it can take a still picture of you and it can make you appear alive in those things. And it's freaky, but it's so cool if you have a great picture and you want to look really natural, you're at the beach or something. Everything from that to text to, I don't know if you've seen those videos on social media created by VO3, which are amazing videos that you can create simply with a prompt. So if you prompt it well, what's the time period that you want this? What's the setting? What are the light aspect ratios that you want? And you enter that and it creates these amazing videos. So I do suggest that you look at the new Google AI tools that they released. Some are free, some have, a free trial period. Others can be more expensive, of course. But anyway, I highly recommend that you, in your own curiosity, look those up because, again, they can help you make some really amazing content. There's platforms that you can record yourself speaking to it, and it learns your mannerisms, your hand movements, your facial expressions while you're talking. And then, like, for example, I could do that, and then I could give April access, who I trust very much, and you got to trust the person. Then she could create any script that she wants for social media and make me say it. Okay, so let's say we decide to have another class and we're going to, okay, April, let's set up another class for July 1st. She could then create a script and then have me saying that script on social media. So, and it's so good. It looks like you, it sounds like you, but it's whatever script that you preload it with. So it's another way where you can create a lot of content without having to have cameras and a location and all these different things because you could just load up these different scripts and then save it and just post it to social media. So there's some really, really cool things that are coming out that again, some of these are a little more advanced. I just want to get your brains thinking about some of the other things that you can do. And you can use ChatGPT, of course, to create those scripts for you, then load them into these other platforms and save you a ton of time. It's pretty neat. Oh, there's even a Gamma is a platform where if you want to make a lot of slides, again, you can create a whole slide presentation simply from a prompt or a little bullet point outline. Like you could come up and say, make a 6-slide presentation for me on the effects of artificial intelligence in the real estate business. That's it. Like you could just prompt it and it's going to come up with slides with graphics in just a few, a minute or 2 minutes or whatever, and create these great slides for you that you can then edit. But it is getting so good that you can just prompt it with what you want, and it's going to create this whole presentation for you. So there's a lot of these AI things that are coming out that are super, super good. And if you want to, get advanced and you want to build some things later on, but you're not a programmer, right? You don't know how to write code. It doesn't matter. You don't need to anymore. You can ask platforms like Claude, which is another AI platform, or even ChatGPT has a model, an engine that you can use to create code, write software for you. Like it's getting wild at how easy it is to do things that are way outside what you thought you could do in the past. All right, let me reshare my screen here. Sorry about that. I got a little sidetracked, but I get really excited about this stuff. Shift, ChatGPT. I'll put myself in here. Okay. So here we are in ChatGPT, and I want to go through a couple of examples that we were talking about. So let us put in, find 5 interesting news updates about the real estate market in San Diego that I can use in a newsletter to be sent to my sphere of influence. Keep the response under 1,000 words. Create the newsletter for me in a friendly, informative tone. So we're going to touch on prompting here. I just wanted to give you an example. So you see it's searching the web. It's going to save it. It's going to YouTube. It's going to all this stuff. So here you go. June 2025. Hello, friends. So it's written it for you, right? Even you could change this, of course, if you have a CRM and you wanted to insert their first name. But it talks about the market cooling, housing taking longer to sell, all this stuff. And here are the references, right, that I told you about. So Redfin, NBC San Diego, the luxuryplaybook.com. So if you want to go and just go, really, where did it get this information from? Well, it's got links right in there so you can verify all this stuff. Because there, for a time there when ChatGPT first came out, there was this stigma that, oh, it's making stuff up. It's, I can't trust it. Well, here it is showing you exactly where it got the information from. The affordability gap. Here's some laws trying to increase housing near transit. And this is very true. My son-in-law's grandfather owns an old lot downtown, forget exactly where, but San Diego wants to build a trolley station wherever this lot is located. So he's owned it since like the 60s, and it's just a dirt like storage lot. And they're buying it from him, lucky him, to put a transit station, and then they build all these condos around it. So, that's an example of what they're doing. And here's the comment about it, because it found, on Axios and Wikipedia. Anyway, this is a really cool thing. Warm regards, Philippe. And tells you newsletter based on information available as of June 5th. So that's one example of how to use ChatGPT to create some content for you. We're going to go back over here and we're going to talk about the prompts. So there's really several things that you want to make sure that you include in your prompt. Remember, I talked about Google, where it was just pretty basic on what you asked Google, look something up, or, what is the average price of a home in the zip code? And it would give you a response. But now with ChatGPT, right, you're looking for personality, you're looking for more tailored responses. So here's an example of me wanting to create a workout routine for myself. So you give it you've got to tell it what the task is. What do you want it to do? So here I said, generate a 5-day home workout routine. The context, I'm in my 50s, male, decent shape. I like to think I have some basic equipment. Number 3, an example, like tell it like what, there's so many different ways to work out. Do you just want weights? Do you want to be outside? What do you want? So I like cardio or upbeat workouts versus weightlifting, because I don't have that equipment in my house. Persona. I want you, ChatGPT, to act as my personal fitness coach. You can tell it what persona you want it to have. Act as my doctor, act as a fitness coach, act as a business coach, whatever you want. So tell it how you want, what perspective do you want it to have? And then a format. Okay, create a table listing the exercise, the reps, and the quality. It should say quantity, I'm sorry, for each day. Do I need to do 20 push-ups 3 times, right, in my workout routine? Tell me that. Put it in a table so I can follow it. And it's going to write out this 5-day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is what I want you to work out. So, biceps and back, abs, whatever it is, it's going to create this workout routine for me. And then the tone. This is what we talked about. Like, how do I want you to present this information to me? I need this written in a motivational tone to encourage myself. Like, if you're too clinical, I may not be interested in it. But if it's like, you can do this, it's only 100 sit-ups, then I'm more likely to do it. So you want to do the task, the context, give it an example, give it a persona. How do you want the output presented to you? Do you want it in a PDF file? Do you want it in a CSV file? Do you want it just in a table that you can copy and paste? It can do all that for you, and then you can just download it. And then, of course, the tone, like, what tone? Do you want it happy, motivational, clinical, professional, whatever it is, use those adjectives to create the output that you want. And then, of course, what's cool about this versus Google is that you can continue the conversation. So a follow-up prompt might be based on the workout routine you gave me and what you know about my age, my gender, etc. What create a meal plan for me to help me lose 10 pounds along the way. And then it's always a good idea when you're asking ChatGPT to put together something for you to tell it, hey, ChatGPT, there's probably things I'm not telling you, which I'm not thinking of right now. So ask me what those questions are. For example, you're going to have a promotion or you're going to create an email. And then you say, ask me 5 questions of information you need to know to create the best emails. It's going to come back, and I know because I've done this. Who's your target audience, right? Is it other real estate agents? Is it first-time home buyers, etc.? What is their demographic? How old are they? Where are you sending this to? What area do you want this email to talk about? Do you have a promotion? Like, are you real estate? You don't really have sales, but if you did, like, what is your promotion? Do you have a 10% off? Do you have this or that? What is it that you're bringing to the table? So it will come back to you if you ask ChatGPT, hey, ask me what I'm not telling you. And it will. It will ask you for the information that it needs to create the best outcome that you can. And you can continue this conversation for a long time. And it's going to remember the whole thread of the conversation. That's where, obviously is way better than Google itself. All right. So deep research, we touched on that a little bit. And I'm talking, it can put together some really neat things. So in this case, perform a market analysis for the San Diego County real estate market for May 2025, and then create a newsletter of approximately 4 paragraphs or 1,000 words to explain the trends, comparison to the prior year, May of 2024, and make an educated guess as to where the real estate market will be for the following month. And then perform this task today, and then repeat the task each month on the 7th day of the month. Tasks are a really important thing. And this is what I really want to express to you and why I think it's important if you go up to that $20 a month account. It won't do it with the free account, but you can tell ChatGPT, this is where the automation starts to occur. All right. People talk about AI automation. Really, when you're prompting it and it gives you a response, that's really not automation, right? It's a very transactional arrangement. You initiate it, you ask it to do something, and it obliges. It gives it back to you, and that's the end of it. But you can set up tasks in ChatGPT and say, I want a market, a state of the market newsletter of 2 paragraphs every Monday morning at 7 a.m. Okay, you can prompt it. It could be a little more detailed than that, but that's for an example. From now on, every Monday morning at 7 a.m., you will get that prompt. You will get what you asked for. And it is so useful. Like, I've got several prompts going right now that just provide the information for me automatically. I don't have to go and think about, oh gosh, I want to write another newsletter. What's nice about it is if you struggle with motivation to get this stuff done, that solves that problem. This is going to automatically generate the stuff that you need once a week, once a month. So like the deep research I shared with you before about creating the market and compare, last month, for which we have all the market data for the month, with the year before, or the month before, or one city versus another. We know that San Diego's got a bunch of little, micro markets. Carlsbad is a very different market than Lakeside, right? It's just going to be very different trends. So you can prompt it already to do this for you. April put in, yeah, create a home affordability breakdown for first-time buyer in San Diego purchasing a $750,000 home with 10% down. Includes estimates, closing costs, etc. So you can have it create this stuff for you, so you are the content queen or king of your sphere, because you're the one who's out there and you're constantly generating this content for your sphere. It's a really, really cool feature. Again, not available in the free version. You got to go to the $20 one. Now, again, you want to go and work with teams and collaborate, and you've got maybe somebody helping you with your marketing, your social media, etc. Then I would recommend going to a Teams account where you can collaborate on projects, and that is $35 per user in your team. So it gets, a little bit more expensive, but to me, the time it saves you're going to save that $35 or $20 the first day that you start implementing some of these things, just in saving you time. So super cool, super cool. All right. This was fun. Okay, so you start playing around with generating graphics, and this is free, right, in ChatGPT. So generate artwork. For our termite and pest control company, we were doing some kind of cute stuff, just posts, right? We all try different things, see what gets engagement. And so I prompted it to create a graphic image of a termite dressed like a warrior eating a piece of wood in a house while other termites looked on with admiration. And it created Terrence the termite. And you see him here, like he's slaying this house, they're chomping it up, and all of his little buddies are super impressed, and he's the king
We
of
can't,
eating wood.
we
And
can't
so this was
see it.
fun. What's
We can't see it, Philippe. You want to
Oh,
show
oh,
what
shoot.
we're talking
Okay,
about?
thank you.
And
Yep,
just
yep,
so you
yep.
know, we're about 10 minutes out.
Yeah, yeah, but we're gonna change here real quick. Share. Thank you for telling me that. Terrence, ChatGPT. All right, and then we're gonna move on to using GPTs. So here's Terrence, the termite. Very cute. All right, now we're gonna move on to a topic called GPTs. When you are using ChatGPT, you will see, come on, sorry. You will see a selection up here that says explore GPTs. And what this does is it gives you, are you seeing that my little ChatGPT screen? No, it's not.
I can see the pop out, but you haven't had anything typed. So yeah, I can see that little pop out there.
It's not showing it. Me stop sharing. I'll share just ChatGPT. Okay, so up here in the top left corner, you've got something called Explore GPTs. And it's not letting me select it. Frustrating here. What those do is it gives you a lot more functionality in ChatGPT. So I'm switching gears here. I'm going to go to the web-based version of it because I think it will let me share that. I apologize for this. Zoom is sometimes a little picky when you share. Okay, so I'm just accessing ChatGPT on my browser through Safari rather than the app itself. So over on the left side, you can see where you can search for different GPTs, okay? And we've created one for real estate agents in San Diego. Let's see, I want to make sure I picked the right one because we did one for commercial agents as well. So it's called the SoCal Real Estate Pro. And this is something that April's going to send you a link. It's free. We're not getting anything from this. We just built it for you to help you get the results that you want. So a GPT is really kind of a set of saved instructions. So I've trained this to give you some really useful stuff. Like it can calculate what a rate buy down looks like for both the seller and the buyer. How much is it going to cost the seller? What's it going to do? For the buyer, how much money is it going to save them? Here, April put an example. So we can say, calculate the cost of a buy down. Okay, so I'm going to take your prompt here, April. I'm going to copy it and hopefully it works. Yes. So calculate the cost and buyer savings for a 2-1 rate buy down on a $900,000 purchase with 20% down. So we're just going to run that. And here's the breakdown. So key inputs: purchase price, down payment, loan amount, base interest rate, and then what it looks like. So year one, the interest rate after the buy down is 5.75, sorry, 4.75, 5.75, 6.75, etc. And then it creates this table for you. So it tells you how much the savings will be for the buyer. So can they afford this house? Can they get in if they feel good about their future? Are they going to be making more money? Someone's going to be going back to work. So it'll tell you at the lower rate, it's going to save them $882 a month. So they have that first year where they can get in, or maybe they have some free cash to do the remodels and the upgrades. So this is really, really helpful in today's market, where you've got to be competitive with the buyers. You got to get them off the fence to buy, and you say, hey, we're going to lower this rate for you for the first 2 years, and this is what it looks like. Very enticing for a buyer to say we can get in because of the rate buy down. That's what new home builders do, right? That's why it's so hard to compete when you buy in a new development and a couple years later you want to sell, but the builder's still building and offering rate buy downs. Very hard to compete with that unless you offer the same thing, especially now with the high interest rates. And then here's the estimated cost to the seller. So if you have a listing and you're having that discussion with your seller saying, hey, look, instead of lowering the price, let us offer a rate buy down. It's going to cost you on a $720,000 house, $16,200 to buy this down. And that's going to, then you can present that to any buyers and in your counter offers, etc. So let's see, let's go back up to a new chat here. Okay, so another cool thing is it'll help you write a listing description. And I'm going to kind of cut short here because I yapped a little too long, so we're running out of time. I want to see if you guys have any questions. We trained it so that it will take your listing description. It can help you write it, and it can compare it to the California DRE to make sure you don't have any bad words in there over which you might get fined. So this will help you scrub your listing descriptions to make sure they're compliant before you post them on the MLS, which is very cool. Another thing is you can upload a home inspection report. We all know that they're getting longer and longer. What used to be a 10-page report is now 60, maybe 80 pages. They're really long now, especially with pictures and everything. Well, let's say your buyer's really anxious, they're out of town, whatever, and they say, hey, my trusted agent, give me a summary, like what's going on with the home inspection. You can just click this plus button here, upload that home inspection report, and say, give me the top 5 items in this home inspection report, and it will go through it and it will summarize the defects that were found. So that's really handy. What are smart upgrades for return on investment for listing? We talked about summarizing market data or creating a Monday email with interest rate updates, whatever you want. You're not limited. These samples that you see down here are called conversation starters. You'll see these. It's just to get your brain going about the types of things that you can prompt it to do. We've got, if you're working with investors, we have an ROI calculator. Are they flipping the house, or is it a long-term rental? Well, you can ask this SoCal Real Estate Pro GPT to help calculate what the return on the investment will be. And it will come back to you and say, what's the purchase price? How much are they planning on investing? What are the interest rates? All of the variables that you need to enter so that you can have that conversation with your investor client saying, this is what this deal looks like on a flip, or if you're, going to buy and hold it, just rent it out. This is where we need to be on the rent. This is what you can expect as a rate of return. So this GPT is an add-on. April's going to send you a link. You just click on that link, and then it's going to add it up into the upper left corner of your chat GPT. And it's not there all the time. You have to click on it, and then you can use it. So, there's a ton of them. If you start exploring, it can help you create a logo. It can help you with all sorts of stuff. There are hundreds and hundreds, perhaps thousands of GPTs that are available to you. And almost all of them are free, unless they link to a platform where they want to charge you for doing something. But most of them are free. This one for sure is free. And that's our contribution to you to help make your life easier and really get into using artificial intelligence in your business, not to replace you, but to assist you and make you better at what you do. I highly recommend it. And in the next class, if you're interested, I'm going to teach you how you can create your own GPT for your business. So if there's certain things that you do repetitively, or you have an assistant or a social media person that you work with, and you've got a defined set of parameters that you want to stick to, you may want to consider creating your own GPT. It doesn't cost anything. You do have to have the $20 a month plan at least in order to create a GPT. April just put the link in the comments section. So if you want to copy that real quick and grab that, or it'll come in the follow-up email to this. But I'm going to teach you, if you're interested, it'll be in a few weeks. We're going to put that class together for you. And I'm going to show you how you can create your own GPT to help with this automation and do repetitive things in a really well-defined environment. And then after that, we're going to have some even more advanced classes where we really build automations. So this is where AI really gets interesting, when it's not waiting for you to prompt it to do something or even something that's scheduled, but it does things on your behalf, which is super cool. And we're implementing that again in our company so that when we get, for example, an inquiry about home inspections, it can listen or understand what that inquiry is, whether it comes in via voice or email, and it can think about what the response is. Is it a commercial inspection quote? Is it residential? Do you do sewer scopes, or what's involved in a pool inspection? And now AI can automatically respond with the most appropriate answer using AI, because we've trained it on what knowledge it has. And it's super, super cool. So if you want to get to that level where you start putting these pieces together and even working with your CRM that already exists, there's a ton of tools out there that are really, really exciting. And if you don't like, oh, programming, setting this up is too much for me, there are people out there that can build these systems for you. Again, the purpose is to get you thinking about how AI can help you stay ahead of the competition, because people who aren't embracing AI are going to get left in the dust, unfortunately, especially in real estate and in a lot of other industries. So if you have, if you have any questions, either raise your hand or type it in real quick, and you could certainly email me later. And let me get back to. I will put my email on here. Let me share this real quick. Sorry. I'm sorry.